got two games going on. We have the end of a real good one between Pittsburgh and Las Vegas, where Pittsburgh just got stopped short of the goal line on a 4th and 1, trying to take the lead. Late in the 4th, down 5. And now Vegas sits at 2nd and 12, trying to climb out from their own goal line to salt away the game. Meanwhile, in Baltimore, it's 21-10, and it looks like the Ravens are on a drive to start the second half. They're down 21-7, have not been able to get off the field on defense. And they're driving, trying to make it a one-score game. But we'll stay in Pittsburgh for a moment, although it looks like it takes a little while for the plays to go in, so we should be able to go back and forth pretty easily here. I'm just going to sort of watch your screen. You'll see we'll just bounce between the two. 2nd and 12, nobody home, and a flat pass. And look at that. Kenyon Drake's going to get 28 yards. Gets Vegas a lot of breathing room. Big play there after their own 37. Short pass, Marquise Brown. Looks like it was a dump off for a catch. Don't know how many yards. 10 yards. So 1st and goal for Baltimore, trying to make it interesting, and it should be a good one here in Baltimore. We'll get back to that, though, in more detail. Just flash until this one is salted away, if it is salted away. And it looks like that personal foul will put Vegas into Pittsburgh territory with 2:42 left. So not many sets of downs left for Pittsburgh to work with, but it's a big play defense, and they've been making some big plays. TJ Watt checked in, had a sack, an interception so far for Pittsburgh. Needs something like that now, but I doubt Pittsburgh gives them the opportunity. There's a relatively short-handed halfback in Josh Jacobs that can get some time down and pin Pittsburgh back in a worst-case scenario. There's a key, but still 5 yards. Isn't that typical of this set? 2 linebackers in zone, still 5 yards on the defensive card. 2nd and 5. Meanwhile, Fenton is out for the half. And that's a loss for KC. A touchdown. And it makes it for Baltimore. It's a 21-17. So some injuries mounting for KC. And now Josh Jacobs reels off 16 more to get him to the warning in Pittsburgh. Up to the 27. Touchback for KC. We'll start out the 25 now. Their first possession of the second half, holding up just a 4-point lead after a 2-yard loss from Jacobs and a possible injury. It doesn't look like any injuries happened on the 1-on-1. So the Fenton injury takes a 5 cornerback off the field for Kansas City in that game. So KC is down both 5 in Chris Jones and a 5 in Rashad Fenton. The Jones injury, a pretty big one. Well, both of them pretty big ones. But losing a defensive tackle typically is not a big deal this year, but when you're playing Baltimore or Cleveland, a few other teams, it matters. Second and 12. Field goal here. Just one timeout left for Pittsburgh. Field goal here keeps Pittsburgh in the game, but there won't be much time left if we see runs here. Here's our line buck to Drake. He's going to get 5 yards. Guess wrong. Sets up a 3rd down And 8, it looks like he's a low usage running back, which limited to 4 yards. Quarterbacks have been running wild, but 3 and out for KC. Baltimore off the field. Tommy Townsend, 48 yards. Duvernay going to take it at the 24. And it calls for a fair catch. So game on the line here. Do or die for the Pittsburgh defense. Facing 3 wide. There's some very good receivers in Las Vegas. All 4 of these guys can catch. Drake can catch 2. Not blitzing here. Against Drake, 2 pass 0. Sack would be very handy right now for Pitt. I would expect a run here. Get this clock down. See if Vegas crosses us up. They do, but Pittsburgh waiting for it. 4 men in zone. He's flushed. Needs 8 yards. Gets -2. Back to the 27. Carlson, a very good kicker. High percentage kick from 42 yards. Does he hit it? He does. 2 through 10. So with a minute 30, not so bad, thanks to the incompletion on 3rd down. Wasn't incomplete. But the clock stayed at 1:30. Wonder what happened there. In any event, Pittsburgh has the ball at their own 25, needs to go the length of the field plus a 2-point conversion in a minute 30. Ben still has a decent card. This last card for Roethlisberger is not bad. He's capable of getting this done. Short pass, Claypool. He gets 11, up to the 36. Out of bounds. Meanwhile, it's going to be a first down for Baltimore as they convert a 3rd and 2 with a 2-yard run from Jackson. And Aaron rips off a 33-yard run for Latavius Murray. You see Jackson, he's been end running a lot in this game. He's already exhausted of his end runs here with 6 minutes left in the 3rd. And Vegas called for a penalty. That stops the clock. As it's declined, it stops the clock with a minute 15 left up to midfield now. Pitt putting together a surge. Tall mountain to climb, though. Flat pass. Man is there, but gets the 6 roll. 8 yards out of bounds. Yes. So that's an effective play. With no timeouts, out of bounds is key here. So you wouldn't say the clock is irrelevant yet. Not at all. With no timeouts, very relevant, even from their own 41. Meanwhile, 23-yard pickup, limited 18 for Murray. So 1st and 10, Baltimore looking to take the lead here. At one point seemed pretty down and out. I'd like to tell that whole story, but can't yet. Let's see what happens here in Pittsburgh first. Are we hung up here, maybe? There's been a few hang-ups in this game. It's possible, but also possible that you're just taking your time and getting the right formation in. You get out of bounds, so you do get to switch up formations. And Peter could be looking at that. And we have another injury. Ben Powers out now. I think that's the 2nd injury along the line. Injuries are sort of mounting up here, this one. See, Bozeman already gone. It's a 2nd and 5. Yeah, so we have a hung-up game in Pittsburgh. We'll wait. We'll get ready for it now as we await the new game number from Pete. He's been good about getting the new game numbers out, which we appreciate. Here it comes. 19808. 29808. And we have a catch by Watkins. Just enough for the first down on 2nd down. Makes it a first and goal for Baltimore. Not connecting yet in Pittsburgh. You see John and Tim commenting on the change in momentum. Yeah, it was looking pretty bleak for Pittsburgh for a while. There's a touchdown, and Baltimore takes the lead. Devonta Freeman up the gut for 5. Justin Tucker was 2 through 12. So barring penalty, this will be a 24-21 lead for Baltimore. Still don't have a connection. In Pittsburgh. I'm going to try the other one. Not that one either. Meanwhile, touchback after the completed extra point attempt by Tucker. Baltimore sitting with a 3-point lead. Now where they don't want to be, which is on defense. And a quick 20-yard pickup for KC up to the 45. And still nothing out of Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, 16 yards, flat passing their way to success here is KC up to the Baltimore 39. Can't say I'm surprised. Expected this one to be a back and forth offensive affair. It's turned out to be that way. Incomplete on 1st down. So now 2nd and 10. Bucker with a strong leg. So KC in decent shape here. Short pass Blake Bell. 3-man in zone gets 13. 1st down at the 26. Now blitzing against Darrell Williams. Good blocker back there, but Baltimore doesn't have many tools in their toolbox defensively. It's a pretty bland defense this year for Baltimore. Short pass, Kelsey gets 12. Possible penalty. Been a bunch of holds here on both teams. And not this time. Up to the 14-yard line. KC darting right down the field. Looks like we got a new one in Pitt. So we'll try again there. Like we got it this time. And where are we? They drop again? They did not, or they did. Maybe, we don't know. Meanwhile, 2nd and 15 following a false start and incompletion. This has not been a problem for KC today, dealing with 1st and long, 2nd and long, and able to get what they need. Here's an off tackle. Williams gets 8 of it back, sets up a 3rd and 7. We've seen a lot of 3rd and 7s from KC today, and they've converted most of them. And they have the ball at the 11-yard line. Still nothing in Pittsburgh. So 3rd and 7. Big play here. Blitzing against McKinnon. Short pass Hardman. He gets 13. And Orlando Brown is gone as well. Touchdown to Hardman. Bucker on. His extra point is not automatic. And this time it is. Let's wait for the play call. So Brown will be out for next week as well. And Tim makes the comment about the Chargers. That's the loss of the left tackle, Orlando Brown. So he's a 6'7". Not much of a pass rush coming from the Chargers' right defensive end, but it matters. Remmers, the backup, is a 2-pass block. You can also move Tooney over if you want to and get a 7 there. Baltimore takes over 1st and 10, 25 as the last bits of the 3rd quarter are about to be played out. Short pass Watkins. He is double teamed. Looking for a big play. Incomplete. I got a feeling we're not going to see the end of the Pittsburgh game. 4-2-5. Saw that from KC a lot last week too. It's this running Baltimore team in manageable situations. It's a challenging formation, but KC doesn't have that many options with the 0 middle linebacker. There's an off tackle to Freeman. Gets 3. Looking for more than that on 2nd down. So now facing a 3rd and long, a lot more challenging for Baltimore than KC is this 3rd and 7. No blitz showing. We've seen a lot of Williams in passing situations. He brings the 5 pass block. No asterisks. Looking pass. Looking to get the yardage, and they do. Hits the +7 on Lamar's card. Exactly what they need. 1st down, Baltimore up to the 35, and they get to start over again. And now you see a 4-3-D from KC. Looking pass. Freeman. Devontae Freeman's going to pick up 12 up to the 47. with the injury along the line of Chris Jones at right defensive tackle, you see the 0 there for KC. Which also have some offensive line injuries for Baltimore that I've been mounting to help offset it. Nonetheless, advantage Baltimore in the run game. Running a lot with Lamar. I guess he's off tackle. Freeman. I thought he was fatigued. And there you see the defensive tackles show up. 5-yard pickup on first down. Lamar has one end run left. I thought he was haloed. He was used a lot for end runs in the first half. He hit his snake eyes, which for him is just 21 yards this year. Next year will be much more devastating. It's a blocking back formation on this 2nd and 5, as I guess we'll focus in on this game. Long pass to Marquise Brown, and he is going to make the catch. 33 yards up against the 4 cornerback. Up to the KC 15. Blocking back against the nickel. So the space 4-3, difficult to fill the holes. In the middle. Off tackle Freeman, guessed right, but no men there, 7 yards. 2nd and 3. So let's catch up on what happened here in the first half. KC came out blazing. Took a quick 7-0 lead. And down 14-7, Baltimore had the ball driving to try to match. Here's a short pass to Watkins, 8 yards out. It's going to be a touchdown, Lamar Jackson. And just like that, Baltimore comes back, takes the lead. Back and forth they go. With 11:42 left in the fourth quarter, it's 30-28 Baltimore. So, assume this kick is going to be up and good here, 2-12. And look at that, the 11. Many would miss it. Tucker hits it, 31-28. So down 14-7, Baltimore had the ball driving, and they threw a key interception on the defensive card of KC. It was a 2-4 pick, not a likely one. And KC went right down the field, I believe, and scored a touchdown to make it 21-7. And had to give up the ball. And KC driving. And things looked pretty bleak for a while there, as KC was just marching up and down the field. And then Butker missed a field goal that would have made it 24-7. And it was a 2-9, I believe. And since that point, since that missed field goal, Baltimore has been back in it. The dice have been back on their side. And just about everything else. They went down and just converted a field goal, though. And there's a 11-yard pickup, but we have a illegal contact on Baltimore, so that play will stand. Went down the field, kicked a field goal to make it 21-10 at the half, got the ball back, and went down, scored to make it 21-17. And then you guys saw the touchdown that made it 24-21. So that missed field goal proved to be a big one. And since then, I mean, not that KC's been out of it. It's just been a horse race since then. He's flushed, another X on the black die. No penalty. Creed Humphrey out for the half. So the offensive line of KC, both teams have really been taking a hit here. Rookie Creed Humphrey, 5'7", mainstay of this line, even though he's in his rookie season in this card set. Already proved to be a valuable piece. Let's see what Tim has done here along the line. I guess we're not sure because we don't see the formation. So Remmers is here. He's staying in there against Calais Campbell, who's only a 2 pass rush. So that makes sense, leaving Tooney at guard. guess. I see comments here. And this is the only indication, Peter saying good job, that the Raiders have gone 2-0. So we'll take that as another victory for the AFC West. Now sitting at 2, 4, 5-1. KC trying to make it 6-1 for the division. Short pass on this 3rd and 3 to Kelsey. Big play. He's flushed. X on the black die. Incomplete. No flags down. 4th and 3. KC, 10-12 left. Looks like they're going to have to punt this, and they do. So Baltimore will have the ball in the lead, I believe, for the first time in this game. Assuming there's no penalty. There is a penalty. Who's it on? We don't know. It's offsetting. So we do it again. Cannot be blocked, Townsend. So you see the punt return D, 46 yards. Duvernay from the 8 is going to have to take this out. And he fumbles. Recovered by KC. Oh, my. Well, that's the biggest break we've seen in the game right there. So now KC has the ball at the 6 with 9:36 left in the 4th quarter, down 3. Tyreek Hill, for some reason, in on the punt unit, recovers the ball. And it's too tight here against a blitzing 3-4. Linebacker Darrell Williams, just one man there. Opportunity for KC. Can't cash it in, though. Gets halfway home. Second and goal from the 3. Blitzing nickel against too tight. Darrell Williams keyed. Whose card does it go to? Goes to the other card, but no blocking back there, so no gain. And KC will take the no gain there. Pretty good striking distance still for the run. 3rd and goal. Edwards-Helaire. So there's an opportunity for blitzing here. That indicates to me a run. It's a line buck. It's guessed wrong. And it's 3 yards. A neutral zone infraction is mandatory. So the touchdown did not happen. Instead, it's 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line as opposed to the 3. Just 1 yard to go here. John needs to come up with the right call at the right time to prevent the KC score. He's the wrong guy. Darrell Williams. Touchdown. No penalty on the X. 34-31 KC. Bucker trying to make it a 4-point lead. Can he do it? He can. 35-31. Baltimore had a chance to not take the field goal going into the half. They're about the 13-yard line. Like a 4th and 2, maybe a 4th and 3. They were down 21-7. Took the points because they were going to get the ball back. I'd have done the same thing. So, not truly second guessing at all, but just I'm sure that's in the back of the mind, John, that those 4 points, if Baltimore are able to get them, pretty valuable right now. Instead, down 4, about halfway through the 4th quarter. Plenty of time to run it down the field. They passed effectively. That should open it up a little bit. And here is Lamar. He gets 9. Possible penalty. Neutral zone. Gladly take that. 1st and 5. Now keeps Lamar's one last end run intact. So a chance here to go deep on one of these 2 plays on this 1st and 5. Does he take that chance? perhaps a minute too much time. Here's an off tackle, 7 yards, possible penalty. No penalty there. We've seen a lot of them today. We've seen both teams backed up 1st and 20 a bunch of times. A lot of hold calls, but not this time. 1st and 10, Baltimore up at the 41. So with this much time left, you'd like to think if you're Baltimore, there's a chance you could salt away the clock and just run the ball down the field. But odds are you won't get that far. 6 yards. Guessed right on Lamar's 12 reading. 2nd and 4. KC sticking in the nickel. Linebuck Jackson needs 4, gets 5. And Chris Jones would have made that play. There's been a few times tonight where Chris Jones's presence has been missed. And it's 1st and 10 into Kansas City territory. 6:18 now. Might see a run call coming here sooner or later from this defense. 9 yards on 1st down, guessed wrong. 5:42 left, 2nd and 1. Ideal position here for Baltimore to get this clock withered away a bit more. 5:42 left. Let's see a line buck to Lamar. Salt away some clock, get a 1st down. Looking past Andrews. It's incomplete. Possible penalty. None there. 3rd and 1. Been a likely 5 or 6 yard gain if he would have run it up the gut. Instead, you've got Coach Tim Irvin thinking of calling a run here on 3rd and 1. He does. Linebuck, Lamar. He is going to get it. 5 yards. Another opportunity missed because of injury of Chris Jones. Racking up yards off that injury. 1st and 10 up to the 34. Jones out next week as well. Blocking back formation. 4:48 left. This drive pretty much going to plan so far for Baltimore. 34 yards to pay dirt. Short pass. He thought he was looking to get a run call here. Instead gets it's an unnecessary roughness. I just assumed a hold. It goes against KC. And now, boy, that's a little too many yards too fast if you're Baltimore. But hey, if you can get in fast enough, you'll get another crack at it yourself if KC goes down and scores. You're sort of tempting fate to jump ahead like that, but that's the way this game's been going. That's the way this game was meant to be, in my view. Sort of last possession wins it sort of thing, or has a chance to win it at least. Linebuck Freeman guessed wrong. Man is there, just gets 3 and a possible penalty. And this one is the hold that we thought was coming. It comes now. That pushes Baltimore back to the 19. 1st and goal. Remember, Jackson has an end run left. Not the most effective end run of Jackson's history. Not the most effective end run of quarterbacks even in this set. But it's there and it lingers and in Coach Irvin's mind, I'm sure. And here it is. End run. He just gets 4. And that's the issue. That 8, that 8 just getting 4 yards is tough pill to swallow if you have Lamar Jackson. That's just not enough yards there. 2nd and goal to 15. 3 plays to get 15 yards. 15, a magic number in strat. Short pass 7, obviously. Does he look to run 3 times, 5 yards a pop? Certainly in the cards. Tougher to do once you're inside the 10. Freeman, all those short gains sitting in his card as well. It's an off-tackle Freeman. I like this call. But he finds the dreaded 5. Oh, my. Oh, heartbreak. Heartbreak for the Ravens. 3rd and goal now from the 15. That is just rough call. Really nice offensive call. I think it was just served up perfectly. It's exactly what I'd have called as well. And just cannot get the dice to cooperate at a key time. But still 2 plays. Jackson now has that halo. Freeman joins him in the backfield. Not blitzing in 3-3-5, so pass block not relevant here with no asterisks to be seen across the board. Freeman up against, then you got a double team on Watkins. Can Lamar pull it out of the hat? He cannot. He's sacked for how many yards? 9. So you're going to have to kick it. 4th and goal from the 24. 3 timeouts for Baltimore. They're going to make it a 1-point game if they can. And the offensive line injuries. Ben Cleveland in as a sub. Costs Baltimore. Here's Tucker. He hits it. 35-34. 2:24 left. Will Baltimore onside it, or will they kick it away with 3 timeouts? Not an automatic either way here. They onside it. With Bucker there, not too far away from field goal range. Not that field goal range matters here. It really doesn't. Well, I guess it does. Isn't just a 1-point game. Of course it does. So 3-4, not blitzing here. Edwards-Helaire, a good right runner. We're at the warning. So the warning is gone for Baltimore. It's a big deal. Short pass. Hardman guessed wrong on this first down. Gets 15. It stands up to the 34. And there is the first time out from Baltimore. Two 3-12 split. And now this is pretty much the last stand on this set of downs for the Ravens. Williams in at halfback. Short pass Kelsey. Didn't double team the right guy. 3 men in zone, guess right. 11 yards and a roughness. That stops the clock. So, got to let him score here somehow, if you can, would be the thought for Baltimore to make it an 8-point game. Not so easy in strat just to let somebody score. If I am KC, I am either kneeling this or I am line bucking with Mahomes, perhaps, whoever the lower fumble is. And just looking for a big play here. If you're the Ravens, so just key or blitz, got to do something extreme. So off tackle, get 8 yards. Timeout for Baltimore. 137, 3 yards to go here. So Mahomes has a pretty high fumble. So if anything, you might sell out on the pass. Try to get a strip sack. Probably not going to get a fumble from these backs. That's your best bet. Guess pass. Leave the middle wide open if you can. Get these guys out on the ends. Let him score if he runs. Try to get a strip sack if he passes. It's a line buck. He did call run and keyed. And it's a first down at the 1. Just about the worst thing you can have if you are Baltimore. Stops the clock with 1:30. Needs a touchdown here. And he's not going to get it. KC should just kneel on this, and this game is over. So the 2-yard run, just a perfect run for KC, and that'll salt away the game. The AFC West now, 6-0 at the top. Denver sits at 0-1. That will not hold up next week. I did not get the invite out, so I'm going to do an invite here for these guys. It was a true back and forth affair. Got to hand it to Stratomatic, really. I mean, that's typical 2021 NFL game right there. It's not like John called. Let's see, you hear Mahomes guess wrong, because he keyed the wrong guy. So even if you would have guessed pass and gone for the sack, would have been the same. Would have been the same result. 450 yards for Baltimore, 395 for KC. Mahomes, big day. A pretty big day. Yeah, 3 touchdowns. That's nice. 315 yards. No picks. Big pick for Lamar. It's possessions. Tell you what, possessions matter this year more than ever. Each one is so valuable. And Tim is trying to join us here. Hey Tim, congrats on the win.
Not sure. I can't hear you yet. If you can hear me, hang on.
Okay. We will hang on.
All right, I'm hearing you just fine now, Anthony. Thanks.
All right. How's your can still hear the remnants of your illness?
Yeah, I'm still not doing real well. I can't believe this is probably the 3rd time in my entire life that I've been sick for over a week. I just doesn't happen to me, but yeah, I'm not doing real well yet, so we'll see.
Well, you weathered this storm. I'd say your team is more injured than you are.
But, yeah. To your disappointment, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt your game next week.
Right. Yep. As the Chargers face the Chiefs, and one of these teams is going to have to lose next week. But let's talk about this one. So,
sure.
First of all, just give me your thoughts on it.
It's a frustrating game. I guess I moved the ball on him just like kind of I expected to. Looking at his matchup, I just felt like I was going to move the ball at will. I did not anticipate that he was going to do the same. And I sort of felt like there was such an advantage. He had no real playmakers, John, from a standpoint of yak rating. And I just felt like over time I was going to be able to separate, and it just didn't happen. John did a great job, especially on offense, keeping me off balance.
It was, and John has joined us. Hey, John.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing well. What's your view of the game?
That was just fun. I thought it was going to go, south the way it did last week against Paul, but things kind of turned around a little bit, and I started getting a few good rolls, and scoring right before the half, and then getting the opening kickoff on the the second half, and driving down and scoring with that. I thought, good, I can make this a game. This is going to be a little more fun. And
you did that for sure.
Yeah, and I saw he was coming with the pressure. So I was worried about the short passes and all, but that's the only way to hit the must runs. So got to risk a few now and then. And that last sack killed me. It was 4-down territory, and I thought, well, let's go for it. And just good call, Tim. Good call.
Oh, lucky more than anything.
Well,
but you're right. Good time for a sack.
The obvious key play of the game was the punt fumble, which came after an offsetting penalty on the fair catch, and that's going to be difficult, really difficult to overcome, unless you can match that, with something equivalent in this game. And Tim, from my view, I thought this was going to be a barn burner. I mean, if you recall, you and I played Baltimore Chargers in the
did we lose you, Anthony?
I'm here.
Or did I just lose me?
John, can you hear me?
No, you're still here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Tim, you there? Tim, do we have you?
Tim? I don't think he's hearing you, but I hear you just fine.
Let's see if he's still on the stream.
Yeah.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, can hear. So you recall, Tim, we played the Chargers versus Baltimore in preseason.
Yes.
And that was a 40-something game. You could just run up and down the field. Yeah, I mean, the Chargers cards in terms of run defense are monumentally poor. But but with the injury to Jones, there was from just looking at the cards. I mean, it looked like Baltimore would be able to run at will. And interestingly, John was passing to set up the run really, really well. And Chris Jones' injury probably cost you 4 or 5 times on that defensive tackle reading on a 4 roll. And he's a 5. So, it really did show up. And John actually ended up with more yards per play. Not that was really a surprise. I mean, it was shootout was in the cards. And obviously the punt fumble is a big deal, but I want to think back to the decisions that were made. And I don't think it was a bad decision, John, but you're down 4 points.
Yeah.
And those 4 points were there for you at the end of the second half. End of the first half. If you would have gone for it 4th and 2, 4th and 3, 35 seconds from the Chargers, from the Chiefs' 13-yard line.
Where was that from?
Right. Yeah, that was right before the half.
Yep. Those 4 points could have been there for you. Yeah. I would have done the same thing. I would have kicked it because you're getting the ball back.
Right. But, right. I wanted points. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
To me, it just underlines the importance of possessions.
Yes.
And getting your points in possessions in this season. It's just, if you don't get your points, it's there's a lot of advanced stats that we don't have. I wish we had them, right? Which one of them is, points, possible points versus the points that you've actually generated per drive. That percentage has to be high this year. And on that possession, you end up with 3 out of 7.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It was just a fun game. I was, like I say, I was just worried that I wouldn't be able to give them one, and it turned out to be a good one. And like I say, I'm 0-2, but this team this year, when I first got the cards, I thought I could really move with this team. I liked the running, and then the flat passing. Yeah. If I can get you guessing wrong, then it'll work out okay. But if you don't, you're not going anywhere with this team. There's not a whole lot of big plays other than Lamar's must runs and all, but and I guess if I could hit the outside wide receivers with the don't limit the longest wide receiver thing. So I think his longest pass all year was in the 40s, 40 yards or something last year. Lamar.
From your perspective, I wouldn't have been afraid of the guest right running. I mean, his defensive line being injured as it was. Playing the 4-2-5, which Tim is sort of forced to play, you can get yards even guessed right, and you were getting them mostly wrong, by the way, because you set up the pass to get the runs. Okay. The other key play I thought was the interception early, because we had a game that was looking like a 1-1, 2-1, 2-2 sort of game where the 7 points don't even matter, right? You're just counting touchdowns, and who's going to end up with that last possession. But that interception turned it, put everything in KC's favor, and the field you could feel it. The 3rd and 7s, right, John? One after another, the field tilted, but then Bucker missed the field goal. When Bucker missed the field goal, this game
that was a big
back.
One. Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. I felt like once he missed that and I had a chance to go up 3 scores and miss that opportunity, and I knew John was going to have the ball in the second half, I knew that, that was a big miss.
It's amazing how this game plays so much like the real game, stuff like that turns, and it's like the dice know. It's like, okay, it's time to change.
Yeah, so true. So true.
Dice don't lie. And you also had some unfortunate penalties, I thought, John. Yeah. We both had some penalties, but yours seemed to be at some really unfortunate moments too.
Yeah, well, that's Baltimore. That's just seems to be the way they play, So
that's the league.
Yep. What's up?
That's the league. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I thought Anthony said something.
Oh, sorry. You can go ahead, please.
No, I'm good. I'm just saying, they are very, penalty prone, and it was that way last year with this team. I expect it to be the same this year. So
both of you faced so many 1st and 20s, and it's not unusual across the league. Yeah. And KC's better equipped to deal with it. And we saw it over and over again. 1st and 20, 2nd and 20, gain of 13 on short pass, ends up 3rd and 7, something that the Chiefs can handle. Yeah. First down, over and over.
Double team double team him. Go. He hits. There was 3 spots to hit there, and and then go off a defensive card. And I'm just like, does it matter? Does it matter? Well, I guess
I
it'll
know
catch up eventually. So.
late in the game, though, I know I was looking at it because I was thinking you had just hit another one of those third downs, and it seemed like there were so many where if it was 3rd and 5, you'd get 5. If it was 3rd and 2, you'd get 2.
Yeah.
And you were doing that. And at one point, admittedly, I yelled a little bit in the house, and it was at that point I thought, I need to
you don't
know.
do that.
I need to know. So I looked up the third down conversions, and at least at that point, late in the game, it was even. We were both 67% converting those. So, and at that time, we were both 100% in the red zone. It said too. So.
Well, so long as you don't pull a Ken Dorsey,
In privacy, you'll never know how bad it was. But
you weren't here last week for the game I had with Paul. So,
Let's talk about one more thing, which is the end of the last drive. And once KC got to the 13, 14-yard line, John, you needed him to score. You needed a touchdown from KC at that point, right?
Yeah.
What were you thinking? Yeah, what were you thinking on D?
I don't know. I just gambled, and I'm hoping for a turnover. That's about the only thing I've got going for me, and it didn't look very good. So that's what.
I had to really think about that. There was a play. I think it was maybe 3rd and 2 when I ran Mahomes.
Yeah.
And or maybe it was 2nd, whatever it was. I was hoping to just get the 1 yard. That's why I ran Mahomes. I wanted to stay out of the end zone, kind of like Anthony was saying. That was why I chose Mahomes. And I was very fortunate. He got exactly the 2 I needed for the first down, which got me down to the 1, put me in perfect kneel position. So, and no way was I going to run that in. I could use a touchdown like anybody else. But the way that game was going, I was happy to escape with a victory.
Yeah. Well, thank you for a good game, Tim. They're always good games.
Yeah, you as well. Good luck the rest of the season. All right, John?
All right, you too. Same thing to you, Anthony.
Yes, thanks, guys. I'll see you later in the season, John.
You will.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Have a good one. Thanks. And the Chiefs moved to 2-0. And as we mentioned a couple times, the entire AFC West is 6-1 currently with the Vegas win in Pittsburgh.
Oh, did they win?
Presumably. We believe. There were some connection problems. And we saw Peter complimenting Paul at the end, which I think indicates a victory for Las Vegas.
So they won week 1, against these same Ravens convincingly. So I guess that makes all 3 of us 2-0. So that should be interesting.
2-0, Denver 0-1 pending their game this week.
That's right. That's right.
Anything else to add, Tim?
Nothing other than congratulations on your win as well. And I am disappointed to be missing, my best offensive lineman, my best defensive lineman against you, and who else? My 4th receiver, something like that. I'll be fine without him. But it's okay. I was thinking towards the end of that game, a little pissy about knowing the injuries I was carrying into my matchup with you next week. But I was just thinking those injuries will be a lot easier to take if I could just somehow get out of here with a win. And so the way that game was shaping down the end, I couldn't be happier. I felt very lucky to get out of there.
Did you think about moving Tooney to tackle?
No, not really. I know that he has that, ability, but no. I mean, I still needed. I guess I probably could have checked it, and it's possible. Yeah, you're right. I think didn't he have like a 0 across the guard there? Maybe I'd have to look at it.
He's a 0-7 at tackle, and your replacement is a 4-2, 4-run, 2 pass.
Yeah, if it's a 2 pass block, that should be good enough to kind of handle. His defensive line was atrocious.
Yeah. Calais Campbell was his matchup, which seemed to me to be the right move.
Yeah,
to keep Tooney in a guard.
Yeah. Well, thanks for broadcasting the game for us, Anthony. Appreciate it, buddy.
Happy to. All right, Chiefs get the win.
Get my voice back to full strength. I'll be grabbing a few and broadcasting myself. Hopefully, sometime later this week or this weekend.
Excellent. We'll see you on those broadcasts. Chiefs win 35-34, and
I'll take it.
And head to, I don't know where that game is next week. Do you remember where the week 3 game is? Let's see. It is
sure.
It is in Kansas City. So
Arrowhead. That sounds fine.
So we'll see you there next week.
That sounds fine. Lots of points there next week. I can't wait for it, Anthony.
Me too. Have a good one, Tim.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
And we'll sign off the broadcast. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you probably again this week on another broadcast. Have a good night.